Did you know that an alarming 69% of adults have less than $1,000 in their savings account? You heard that right. The majority of adults have less than $1,000 tucked away for a rainy day. It's a staggering statistic that highlights just how many people are struggling with money management. In a world where financial stability often feels like an elusive dream, it's clear that many of us are playing a losing game. And the impact? It's not just about not being able to afford that dream vacation or the latest iPhone, it's about living paycheck to paycheck, always on the edge of financial disaster. It's about the stress and anxiety that come with not knowing if you'll be able to make ends meet at the end of the month. It's about the strain it puts on relationships and the opportunities it robs from our children. So, what's at the heart of this widespread struggle? Well, it's not as simple as not earning enough money, it's about habits. Money habits, to be precise. Just like how our daily routines and lifestyle habits shape our health and happiness, our money habits shape our financial well-being. And right now, it seems like a lot of us have picked up some pretty harmful habits. But here's the kicker. These habits, they're not always obvious. In fact, they're often so ingrained in our behavior that we don't even realize we're doing them. They're stealthy, creeping up on us until one day we wake up and find ourselves in a financial hole. But don't worry, we're here to help you break free from these chains of financial distress. Over the next few minutes, we'll be taking a deep dive into the 7 most common money habits that are keeping you broke. We'll pull back the curtain on these sneaky saboteurs of financial success and give you practical, actionable tips to kick them to the curb. So buckle up, it's time to say goodbye to being broke forever. Kicking off our countdown is habit 7, impulsive spending. This habit, my friends, is a real wallet drainer. Picture this, you're strolling down the candy aisle of your local supermarket and you spot a family-sized pack of chocolate chip cookies on sale. Now, you didn't plan on buying cookies today, but it's a deal too sweet to pass up, right? Well, not so fast. That's impulsive spending in action. You see, it's these little unplanned purchases that can add up over time and take a significant toll on your finances. Let's get a bit more serious. Have you ever made a large purchase? Say, a new gadget or a piece of furniture on a whim? You probably felt a rush of excitement at the time, but that feeling might have quickly turned into regret once the reality of the expense kicked in. That's the thing about impulsive spending. It might feel good in the moment, but it can lead to financial stress in the long run. Now let's talk solutions. The first step to curb this habit is to recognize it. Are you an impulsive spender? If yes, don't fret. There's always room for improvement. One practical tip is to create a budget. Having a clear idea of your income and expenses can help you make more informed decisions about your spending. Next, try the 24-hour rule. If you find yourself tempted to make an unplanned purchase, wait 24 hours before deciding. This can help you avoid impulsive buys and give you time to consider if you really need it. Lastly, be mindful of your triggers. Is it online shopping? Is it sales? By identifying what triggers your impulsive spending, you can put measures in place to avoid these situations. Remember, every penny counts, so the next time you're tempted to make an impulsive purchase, think twice. Your wallet will thank you. Moving on to habit 6, living paycheck to paycheck. Let's talk about a habit that's all too common, living paycheck to paycheck. It's a precarious dance that many of us are familiar with, where the music stops and starts with every payday. But here's the kicker, this routine is a major roadblock on the road to financial well-being. Why, you ask? Well, living paycheck to paycheck leaves no room for financial growth. It's like trying to run a marathon while being tethered to a post. You're exerting energy, you're moving, but you're not going anywhere. This habit ties you down, preventing you from making any real progress towards your financial goals. Additionally, this habit leaves you vulnerable to unexpected expenses. Life is unpredictable, and when you're living paycheck to paycheck, a sudden car repair or medical bill can send you spiraling into debt. It's like being caught in a rainstorm without an umbrella. You're left drenched and shivering, scrambling for cover. So, how do we break free from this cycle? The first step is to start saving. Even if it's just a small amount at first, the act of putting money aside can help shift your mindset from living in the now to planning for the future. It's about creating a buffer, a safety net that can catch you when life throws a curveball your way. Next, try to reduce your expenses where you can. This doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit and give up all your pleasures. It's about making smarter choices, like cooking at home instead of eating out or choosing a cheaper phone plan. Remember, every penny saved is a penny earned. Lastly, consider finding additional sources of income. This could be picking up a side gig, selling unused items, or turning a hobby into a money-making venture. It's all about creating multiple streams of income to lessen your dependence on your paycheck. Financial freedom starts with breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. It's about taking control of your money rather than letting your money control you. So, let's break the chains, step away from the dance floor, and start moving towards a financially secure future. Habit 5 on our countdown is neglecting savings. Now, we've all heard the saying, "You've got to spend money to make money," right? Well, that's only half the story. The other half is about saving. Yes, my friends, the act of stashing away a portion of your earnings, even if it's just a little bit, is as important as earning it in the first place. You see, neglecting savings is like trying to run a marathon without taking a single sip of water. You might make some progress, but sooner or later, you're going to hit a wall, and it's not going to be pretty. Savings are your financial safety net, your cushion for unforeseen expenses, your ticket to financial freedom. So why does this habit hinder financial growth? Well, without savings, you're living paycheck to paycheck. There's no room for investments, no safety net for emergencies, and no cushion for future plans. Essentially, you're putting all your financial eggs in one basket, and that's a recipe for disaster. Now here's the good news. Changing this habit is easier than you think. Start by setting aside a small percentage of your income each month. It doesn't have to be much, just something. Consider it your personal pay for future you. You can even automate it so you won't even miss it. Little by little, your savings will grow, and with it, your financial stability and freedom. Remember, a penny saved is a penny earned. Coming in at number 4 is ignoring your debts. Now we've all been there. That credit card bill or student loan statement arrives, and you feel a sudden urge to toss it into the deal with it later pile. But here's the thing, folks. Later has a sneaky way of becoming never, and before you know it, you're neck deep in debt. Ignoring your debts is like trying to outrun your shadow. No matter how fast you sprint, it's always right there with you. And the longer you ignore it, the more it grows, thanks to the magic, or shall we say curse, of compound interest. So why is this habit so harmful to your financial health? Well, apart from the obvious stress and anxiety it creates, it can also lead to serious consequences like a lower credit score, wage garnishment, and even bankruptcy. But don't despair. There are ways to break free from this habit. Start by acknowledging your debts. Yes, every single one of them. Make a list of who you owe, how much you owe, and the interest rates. Then create a realistic payment plan, prioritizing the debts with the highest interest rates. Remember, the key is consistency. Even small, regular payments can make a significant difference over time. And if you're really struggling, don't be afraid to seek professional help. There are numerous credit counseling agencies and debt management programs that can provide guidance and support. Debt is like quicksand. The more you ignore it, the deeper you sink. So don't ignore your debts. Face them head on and you'll be on your way to financial freedom. Next in line, at number 3, we have not budgeting. Now let's take a minute to ponder over this. How can we expect to reach our destination if we don't have a roadmap? The same logic applies to our financial journey as well. Not budgeting is like embarking on a road trip with no idea of the route or how much gas you'll need. It's a recipe for disaster, or in this case, financial instability. This habit of not budgeting is detrimental to our financial health for a few reasons. Firstly, without a budget, we don't have a clear understanding of where our money is going. We might be overspending in one area while neglecting another, creating an imbalance in our financial ecosystem. Secondly, without a budget, it's hard to set and achieve financial goals. Whether it's saving for a vacation, a new car, or simply building an emergency fund, having a budget can make these goals attainable. Now you might be thinking, but budgeting is so complicated, or I don't have time for that. But trust me, budgeting doesn't have to be a complex, time-consuming process. Here are a few tips to help you get started. First off, identify your income and expenses. This will give you a clear picture of your financial situation. Then, set realistic spending limits for different categories like food, entertainment, transportation, and so on. These limits should be based on your income and necessary expenses. Next, make sure to track your spending. There are plenty of apps and tools out there that can help you do this. It's crucial to know where your money is going so you can adjust your budget as necessary. Lastly, review and adjust your budget regularly. Your financial situation can change over time, and your budget should reflect these changes. Remember, a budget is not a restriction, but a tool that gives you control over your money. It allows you to make conscious decisions about your spending instead of wondering where your paycheck went at the end of the month. A budget is a roadmap to financial freedom. Make sure you have one. Almost there at number 2, we have not investing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a habit that's more common than you might think. Unfortunately, it's also one that's keeping many of us from achieving financial prosperity. You see, not investing is like sitting on a pile of seeds and expecting a forest to grow. It's not going to happen. Those seeds need to be planted, watered, and cared for. Similarly, your money needs to be put to work if you want it to grow. Leaving it in a savings account or under your mattress is not going to do much for your financial well-being. Investing is the process of allocating resources, often money, with the expectation of generating an income or profit. It's a way to potentially build wealth over time, but many of us are held back by the fear of losing our hard-earned money. We think of investing as a risky business, a game of chance. But let me tell you, it's not a casino. It's a calculated risk that can pay off handsomely if done right. Now, I'm not saying you should put all your eggs in one basket. Not at all. The key to successful investing is diversification. Spread your money across different types of investments such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and even cryptocurrency. This way, if one investment doesn't do well, you have others to fall back on. If you're new to investing, start small. You don't need a fortune to start investing. You can start with as little as a few dollars. There are plenty of apps and platforms out there that make investing accessible to everyone. And remember, the earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. Expert advice? Educate yourself before you dive in. Read books, take online courses, listen to podcasts, join investment clubs. The more you know, the better decisions you'll make. So let's break the habit of not investing. Let's plant those seeds and watch our financial forest grow. Because at the end of the day, investing is the key to growing your wealth. And the number one money habit keeping you broke is lack of financial education. Now let's put this into context. Imagine you're handed the keys to a high-performance sports car. You're seated behind the wheel, but you've never driven before. In fact, you don't even know what the pedals do. What do you think will happen? The outcome, we can safely say, would be less than ideal. This is exactly what happens when you try to navigate the financial world without proper education. It's a high-speed race where you're likely to crash if you don't know the rules of the road. Why is this habit the most detrimental? Because it's the root cause of all the other money habits that keep you broke. If you don't understand how money works, you're bound to make mistakes that can cost you dearly. It's like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You might have all the materials and tools, but without a plan, your efforts will likely result in a shaky structure that could collapse at any moment. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not saying you need to be a Wall Street whiz or hold a degree in economics, but having a basic understanding of financial concepts like budgeting, saving, and investing can make a world of difference. It's about understanding the value of money, how to grow it, and most importantly, how to keep it. So how do you break this habit? Start by educating yourself. Read books, attend seminars, take online courses. There's a wealth of information out there at your fingertips. Don't shy away from asking questions. Remember, the only silly question is the one you don't ask. And don't forget, financial education is not a one-time thing, it's a lifelong journey. The financial world is constantly evolving, and so should your knowledge. So are you ready to take the driver's seat and steer your finances in the right direction? Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to finances. Breaking these habits won't be easy, but it's definitely worth it. Let's recap. Dodging debts, failing to budget, impulse buying, neglecting savings, thinking short-term, avoiding financial education, and ignoring your money mindset. These are the 7 habits keeping you broke. It's time to take action. Start by addressing one habit at a time, and gradually, you'll see improvement in your financial health. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. Let's make it a prosperous one. Don't forget to subscribe for more personal improvement tips and share your experiences in the comments.